I told you that social justice would cuck Islam, and I was right. Here is the case of Muslim mums in an area of Birmingham that is 98% Muslim at this particular school, protesting this school because they are promoting homosexuality to their kids. Who could have seen this coming? This conflict was inevitable, and honestly, I can't believe it didn't come sooner. And it also shows us who is going to win in the battle of social justice versus Islam. And it turns out the winner is going to be social justice. So Andrew Moffat, MBE, a knight, a gay knight, in fact, and that's an interesting part of his history, assistant head teacher at the Parkland Community School in Saltley, has been criticised by parents for piloting No Outsiders. Its ethos promotes LGBT equality and challenges homophobia in primary schools. Primary schools that are 98% Muslim. So you can imagine that the gay head teacher, or ex-head teacher, as he was forced to resign in 2014 from his previous position because parents, Muslim and Christian we are told, both required he resign because he was gay and they didn't want him teaching their children. Books now being read by the pupils at Parkland Community School include Mummy, Mama and Me, and The King and King. Stories about same-sex relationships and marriages. And the Muslim residents of this community in Birmingham are not very happy about it. As Birmingham Life put here, these Muslim parents condemn such teachings as homosexuality is strictly forbidden in Islam. But don't worry, it's only a matter of time until intersectionality subverts Islam too. I'll show you how this is going to happen in a minute. So Moffat's openly gay and he defended it saying, No Outsiders allows us to raise awareness of these differences so that children are able to tolerate and accept differences in our society. What are you saying, Mr. Moffat? Islam isn't very tolerant? Is that what we're saying? Is that where we're going with this? Are you sure this is what you want to be implying when you say that we need to teach a 98% Muslim school to be tolerant and inclusive? But outraged mum Fatima Shah, who has taken her 10-year-old daughter out of the school, told Birmingham Live it's inappropriate and totally wrong. Children are being told it's okay to be gay, yet 98% of the children at this school are Muslim. It's a Muslim community. So what are we supposed to take away from that? She says Mr. Moffat is running what is called CHIPS, challenging homophobia in primary schools, and it's totally against Islamic beliefs. These are her words, right? This is what she thinks. Being a Muslim means you're not allowed to have your homophobia challenged. I'm just saying that's what she believes. I'm not the one who believes this, right? My child came home and told me I am okay to be a boy. It's confusing children about sexuality. See, that's my objection to it, is that it really does seem to confuse the majority of children about sexuality. It's just not normal. You know, it's never going to be normal. It's always going to be a tiny percentage of the population that this represents. But this is why the Muslims are going to lose to intersectionality. Because she said that she is against LGBT equality being taught, but insists that gay people should be treated with mutual respect. That's not what Islam says. That's not what Islam says at all. Islam seems to be of the opinion that gay people need to be persecuted, broadly, by, like, the text, by the scripture, by the way that God is supposed to treat... Oh, God gave the example of treating the people of Lot. And it's along this most fundamental axiom that intersectionality and social justice is going to infiltrate Islam. Because Islam is not a religion of equality. It is not about equality. It is specifically stratified, deliberately hierarchical. It is anti-equality. And if Islam wants to survive social justice, it has to be proudly anti-equality. That has to be a core Islamic value. And she doesn't consider it to be. They've already lost this war. It's only a matter of time until you've got intersectional Muslims running around all across the Middle East. And imagine how infuriating that's going to be. I am, of course, joking. I don't think it's actually going to spread to the Middle East in the way that it would spread in the West, because I don't think people in the Middle East give a shit about human rights. And so I don't think that there's going to be any like tolerance socially for it to be able to spread. It's social tolerance that allows these things to spread. And that's not going to happen in the Middle East. But it is going to happen here. And so basically, social justice is going to completely cuck Islam in this country. I've seen loads of Muslims, like in Britain, at like Speaker's Corner and stuff, having discussions. And they concede all Enlightenment premises. and then say, yeah, but God says. It's like, okay, but you can keep saying that. But at the end of the day, the train of logic is going to continually push you back until you're right up against the very last reason, God says. And then let's have a talk about the existence of God and the legitimacy of the Quran and Muhammad. And then you're in a conversation for the very existence of Islam, let alone like an actual imposing an Islamic order. Oh no, you're not doing any of that. Now you're up to the point where, like, is Islam even a thing? And trust me, these fucking people will define you out of existence. What is Islam really? I mean, really, what is Islam? These people are expert deconstructionists. They're going to just find your dogma and rip it apart just based on the very subjectivity of your own language. I mean, and Arabic has got a terrible problem with this. So at this point, I basically think it's inevitable that Islam is going to succumb to social justice. It's interesting how she appeals on one hand to Islamic values and then says, we believe in fundamental British values and believe gay people should be treated with mutual respect without prejudice or discrimination just like any other human being. We respect the Equality Act and believe it can be implemented without the promotion of homosexuality. So these people are actually interpreting what this guy, this gay intersectional advocate, is doing as the promotion of homosexuality. And unfortunately for the mum, the nature of the beast is that, like any kind of technology, anything that develops over a longer period of time is more sophisticated. Islam was pretty damn sophisticated for a religion in the 7th century. You know, the seal of the prophets, killing apostates, holy war. That's why Islam dominated the Middle East for 1,000 years. You know, it's expected that would happen, but you've come across something now that is, in fact, more seductive. Like fundamentally, and this is the problem with social justice, this is why, like, liberals have so much problem with social justice, is that social justice is an Enlightenment product. It's a product of Enlightenment thinking. It is an attempt to achieve the promise of liberalism, right? But it's not going to work. It's going to become tyranny. You can't micromanage that. It can't be done from the top down. And this is the thing that they don't understand. And so as soon as they start doing this, boom, you end up getting resistance. And as soon as you start getting resistance, you have no real choice but to ignore the resistance and keep going, which makes the resistance even worse. I mean, this is how they describe the school. This is an inclusive school that celebrates diversity. As a result, pupils demonstrate respect for an individual's age, disability, gender, or gender reassignment, sexuality, race, religion, or belief, and they say that they have no plans to change their current curriculum. No outsiders remains an integral part of the drive for excellence. Islamic values be damned. They don't care about your opinion on this. They have the power, and they have decided that they are right. And a local councillor even backs the Muslim mums who are protesting and accusing the school of promoting homosexuality. His name is Mohammed Idris. I wonder what faith he belongs to. The devout Muslim said, "We will have a meeting with the school. I think this is important. I know about the issue and it being a predominantly Muslim school. The sensitivities of the parents must be discussed. Parents feel very strongly about the policy which, I'm told, has been promoted quite aggressively. I cannot comment on what's being taught in the classroom, but the school and teachers must be sensitive to Muslim parents and Islam." Who am I supposed to support here? Like, I don't like Islam as a dogma, I don't like social justice as a dogma, and now they've come into conflict. The books weren't exactly explicit. I mean, like, some of the books for the kids were stories about families where there are two dads or children who are disabled or lives with a gran or has no parents or is fostered. All of the books used are age appropriate from reception age up to year 6. So, I mean, if that description is an accurate description, and it is what I think it is, I would say it's probably not inappropriate to have that. But Muslim ideology, in particular, finds homosexuality to be something that is sinful. It probably is that it comes straight down to Islamic ideology versus social justice, and in this case, social justice is going to win.